So welcome to Module 7. This is D for drives and storage. So on Explorer you can see your main hard drive is called C:, in almost every case, and there may be other drives in there. There may be a DVD drive if you've got a medium age laptop, and that's normally called D:, and other drives will become E:, etc., etc. And also on a Windows 10 machine you have access to OneDrive, and OneDrive is the Microsoft storage version which is based on the internet. So if you save your files and your data and your videos and your photos to OneDrive, which is part of Explorer, then you are saving that over the internet, and it doesn't then matter if you lose your laptop or your data becomes corrupted, then the OneDrive will allow you to recover it. And if you're running on a Google Drive, then the Google is the one that you access with your Gmail account, and that works in pretty much the same way as OneDrive. It's an external place on the cloud where you can actually save your data and your photos and your videos and anything else, all subject to the limits that there may be on the size of things that you are saving. Then there are other external drives. A camera provides a drive. It's seen on Explorer as a drive, and then you can download the photos from your camera using that. There is a product called Dropbox, which is external to the ones we've talked about, and iCloud is part of the Apple service. So if you subscribe to iTunes and Apple, then you will be able to access the iCloud. And then we'll talk about backup. Backup is a way of securing your computer by backing up all its files and folders and settings to some external device, so that if it goes bang, then you'll be able to recover your data and all your settings and get back into operational mode again. And we'll have a look at how you can run that. So that's what we're going to be talking about on Module 7. So let us move on. And it may have occurred to you that we haven't mentioned anything about the A drive and the B drive. Well, unfortunately, those letters went into the history of the personal computer, because back in the day, in the early 80s, when personal computers first started to catch on, then all they had were 2 floppy disk drives rather than the hard drives that we use today. So one of the floppy drives was called A:, and the other one was called B:, and you had to put your programs into A:, and your data onto B:, and swap files around between the two. So all of that was fun and games, but now those A and B: drives are history. So first of all, let's have a look at Microsoft's OneDrive. And OneDrive appears in Explorer, and you can see that I've got 6 or 7 folders already in here. And if I want to add to OneDrive, and OneDrive is in the cloud, so that is somewhere in the land of Microsoft where my files and folders which are in OneDrive are being saved for future use. And it means that if I lose this laptop, then I'll still be able to access those and recover them on any other machine. And in fact, if I've got another machine, then exactly that, I can connect to OneDrive and download them from there. So here's a folder called Document and Files, and we've been looking at that. We've used it in earlier modules. And if I right click on that and go to Copy, then I can treat OneDrive as being like any other folder on my system. Right click and select Paste, and then it will then add that entire folder to the OneDrive, and everything is in there just as we had it on our own hard drive. So this is one security device that you can use. Now, something I should point out, that if you delete a folder of anything over a network rather than on your local hard drive, if I right click on that and select delete, it will say that it will be permanently removed. So if you're deleting anything over the network, then it will certainly be deleted, but it will not end up in recycle bin, so just be warned about that. But you can actually save your files and folders into OneDrive and use it for limited backup. So next, let's look at Google Drive. And Google Drive does not integrate with Windows 10, but it becomes part of your browsing operation. So if I do a search for Google Drive, and it becomes listed as free cloud storage for personal use. And so if I select that, then it will say go to Google Drive, and the Gmail account that we created earlier is the one that will connect to that Google Drive. And then on the left hand side you can then see what's in my drive. There's nothing there at the moment, so I can right click on that and add a new folder, and I'll call it course folder. Click on create, and all of this is going on to some server somewhere on the internet which is managed by Google, and I can then drop files here. So to use that, if I click on the new button and switch it on, click on new, and it will then allow me to upload folders. So if I select a folder and I go back to this PC, and I go to the C drive, and I go back to the Camtasia and document and file examples, I can then upload that, and it warns me that it's going to take all the files as well, and it's uploading one item. And close that window, not complete. So let's continue with the upload, because uploads are always slower than downloads. 1 minute left, less than a minute left. Upload complete. So we can now close that window. Have a look inside documents and files, and here are all the files that we had in our sample folder. So that's how Google Drive works. And one of the things that you can do is you can actually share this with the other people on the internet. So if I select the share button, it will then allow me to get a shareable link, and this is the shareable link, and then I can add the names and email addresses of people who can then access that link. So if I put this link here in an email, I can then send it to the people I want to share this particular folder with, and they will then be able to access it using this link through their browser on their PC. So that's how Google Drive works. So a quick mention of external hard drives that you can use. In fact, your camera is an external hard drive, and so your laptop can access the photos and videos that you record on your camera by connecting your camera to a USB port on your laptop. There's also Dropbox. If you do a Google search for Dropbox.com, then that's another separate utility on the cloud where you can actually leave files and folders and share them for access by others. And then iCloud is part of the Apple iTunes installation. So when you install iTunes and you become part of the Apple community, then you get another shared folder or place where you can save your files, in particular music, videos and pictures, in the Apple iCloud. And then there is the issue of backup, and backup is probably easier done using an external hard drive, so long as it's big enough, and you should really be investing in an external hard drive of at least 1 terabyte in size. So let's have a look at an external hard drive. So this is an external hard drive with a USB connector, which will then go into the USB port on the side of your computer, and so that appears in Explorer as a separate drive with its own letter, and you can copy and paste files and folders into that. So let's have a look and see how we can achieve a backup of our laptop. If we go to the gear wheel off the start button, settings, and we go to update and security, on the left hand side select backup, and it will then give us options. And the space that it's found on local disk E, which is our external hard drive, is enough to do the backup. So we can click on backup now, and it will then back up the data and record it onto the external hard drive. And so if your laptop goes bang, then you've got a backed up version of the system that you can then reinstall. So that's the end of module 7, talking about drives and storage. When we talk about network in a future module, then we can have a look at network drives and how you can connect two computers together so long as they are on the same network. And that is something which is useful to know, but not essential for dealing with drives and storage. So look forward to seeing you in module 8.